Thank you very much. Once again, let me take this opportunity to welcome you back at one of this aristocratic channel of ours, known as a MATRIC+NATED specialist. And then today we are going to anticipate in English first additional language that is written tomorrow, which is paper 3. Remember that I have taught you on how to construct an essay in the previous video, but now I want you to see that this is the guideline which is used as the external source, which is the marking guideline pertaining to tomorrow's examination here in September, which is in term 3 right now. So grade 12s, I want you to listen and I want you to obtain good marks in tomorrow's activity. Ensure that you are hitting the subscription button and sharing to those who are concerned without any failure. Okay, and then let us look on how guideline in terms of going to write. Now it is indeed for tomorrow, it is for 50 criteria. So these are the criteria. And then we are saying criteria number 1. We want you to ensure that you are giving us the content and planning of the essay, which is going to be allocated to 30 marks. But what do we mean about the content here? We say that you must be able to respond and ideas, organizations of ideas and video. When we are asking to say, is it a must for us to write the first draft? I said, yes, indeed, it's a must. Why are we saying that? It is because of, you can see that in planning, it is also allocated marks, and the organization on how you are organizing your ideas here, aware of that. So ensure that number 2, the awareness and the purpose of the audience and the context, they must also be taken into consideration. So when we are talking about the audience, we are talking about people who are reading or where you are writing, that they are going to get a message. They must be able to get a clear and a proper message. And that alone, it is for 30 marks. So that is why you need now the first draft and the final draft, which is a second now. And then ensure you make the corrections. Please refer to the previous video if ever you were not available and the time when we're posting it, refer to that. And you see that these 30 marks, it is now regarded as what? As the upper level and the lower level. So you must know that you must be able to get these upper levels because of your awareness. You take your 30 marks over that by constructing this. And then we go to number 2 again. Remember that number 2, we're talking about the language and the style, editing. So remember that we have said that your language must always be formal. You must ensure that you're taking the right notes down, and then you must ensure that everything is in place. So, and the style, which is the diction, vocabulary, and appropriate to purpose and effect content. And then again, we're going to see the word of choice, language use, and the conversion, punctuation, grammar, and spelling. Where do you get that? In editing. Whereby you are editing now your essay, you're going to be allocated the 15 marks. So you must get level 7. You must get at least a 49, 48 over a 50. And then we talk about now the structure. Remember that we said that it is situated in structure, which is the conclusion, which is the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So we are saying here, the features of the text, the paragraphing development, they must be chronological, and sentence construction, then you get your 5 marks. Then let us try to read what is it there, so that you can see maybe clearly there. Okay? And then if ever you are getting here, this out of this 30, you are getting 28 to 30. Remember that it is known as exceptional. So we are saying that you were outstanding, striking responses beyond a normal expectation. We are talking about the intelligence throughout proving and mature ideas, and exceptionally well organized, coherent, and connected, including the introduction, body, and the conclusion, ending. Then we are getting what? A 28 to a 30 just for that. And then in the lower level, we are saying that this lower level will get 25 to 27, which you must not aim in this region. But we are saying that there is an excellence response, but it lacks the exceptionally striking qualities of outstanding essay. So let us not lack. And then number 2, mature and intelligent ideas. It is skillfully organized and coherent, connected, including the introduction, body, and your conclusion. So that is what we are talking about. And then you can get again here. Let us go to the skillful. So skillful, you get something like 22 to 24. And then you say this very well crafted response, fully relevant and interesting of ideas with evidence of maturity. Number 2, very well organized and coherent, connected, including introduction, body, and conclusion in ending. And then in the lower level, we are saying that is 19 to 21. Then we are giving well-crafted response, relevant and interesting ideas, well-organized, coherent, connected, including the body and the conclusion. And then we go to moderate, which you can get a 16 to 18. And then we are saying satisfactory response ideas are reasonably coherent and convincing, reasonably organized and coherent, including the introduction, body, and conclusion or ending. And then in the lower is 13 to 15 satisfactory response, but some lapses clarity, ideas, and are fairly coherent and convincing. Some degree of organization and coherence, including the introduction, body, and the conclusion. When we moderate, and then we're going to now when you are elementary, that is not what we want. Elementary 10 to 12, you are inconsistent, coherent response, unclear ideas, and unoriginal, little evidence of organization and coherence. So you get 7 to 9. When there's large irrelevant response, ideas tend to be disconnected and confusing, hardly any evidence of organization and coherent, and then inadequate. Then it's 4 to 6, totally relevant response, confused and unfocused ideas, vague and repetitive, unorganized and coherent. And then 0 to 3, no attempt to the response to the topic, completely irrelevant and inappropriate, unfocused and modeled. Then that is an inadequate. And then your 30%, your 30 marks is there. And then let us see now where we go to what we call the draft. Don't forget. And then we are saying you can get 14 to 15. The tone and the richness of the style vocabulary is highly appropriate to the purpose of the audience, and the language is confident, exceptionally impressive, compelling, and rhetorically effective in tone, virtually error-free in grammar and spelling, very skillful, crafted. And then we are saying in the lower level, language excellence and rhetorically effective in the tone, error-free in grammar and spelling, skillfully crafted. And then we are saying here, the tone and the register and the style vocabulary was very inappropriate to the purpose of the audience and the context. The language is effective and a consistent, appropriate tone is used in grammar and spelling. And last point, well crafted. And then we go to lower level, language engaging and generally effective, appropriate and effective to well crafted. And then we are moving on again to the other one. We are talking about the tone, which you can get there in moderate in 8 to 9, the tone and the style and vocabulary appropriate to the purpose of the audience and the context, appropriate using language to convey the meaning, the tone is appropriate, there is a rhetorical devices used to enhance the coherent. And then when we are getting 7, we are saying an adequate of language with some inconsistencies, tone generally appropriate and limited of the rhetorical devices. And then we move on again. The tone and the style vocabulary was less appropriate to the purpose of the audience and the coherent, very basic use of the language, tone and the diction and inappropriate, very limited vocabulary. And then here, when we're getting your 4, inadequate use of the language, little or no variety in the sentence, exceptionally limited vocabulary. And then we move on to this last 5 marks, which is now the well constructed. So can you see that there's a logical ideas. Number 3, there's relevant ideas which are developed. And then when you're getting a 2, you've got some of the valid points, but they are not in factual. You get the 0 to 1. You are lacking the point and the sentences of the paragraph. They don't have a fluency. Thank you very much for your time, and ensure that you are getting also the other videos on the longer transactional peaks and the shorter transactional piece. Thank you very much for your time.